Okay, yes, we are back. Hi, everybody. It is
We
nobody
are
wants.
back indeed.
Oh
How are
my
you
God,
doing, beautiful people?
another week. Nobody wants to work anymore. Another week where I am still looking for a job and being gaslit into the fact that nobody wants to work anymore. Right. So, um, this week in my job adventures, since we have, I got this interview last week, and I took two interviews, and they said, "Hey, you have to take this Wonderlic test." I think that's what we talked about last week. So I went through their application
hmm
process, which was pretty painful, and then I took the Wonderlic test, and I got my results. So I thought we would go through that tonight. That would be kind of the first thing that we did. I know you brought a couple of articles about some return to work
hmm
stuff, Amazon, and then we'll get to the funny stuff afterwards because it's almost like with how do we miss that with boats. We'll get to the funny stuff, and we'll eat our vegetables, and then have some funny dessert. So, um, how's things going at the new place? Is it still like bliss, or are you starting to see the bloom, or how are we doing there?
Um, I'm just finally starting to get the hang of it. Everyone's been super awesome still. Uh, I'm already starting to really like my coworkers. Are super funny. It honestly just looks like a really solid company, and I think like I think I've just had such bad experiences. It's like I kinda had it, like, with my wife, sort of, because, like, I've been in, like, kinda toxic, chaotic relationships before, so when I finally met the one, part of me was like, "Okay, where's the catch?" And sometimes it's not a catch, you've just had shit luck, and you've been with shitty companies, and so when you see a good one, you automatically assume there's gotta be some, like, horrible, like skeletons in the closet, and there could be, I don't know, but so far I'm really enjoying it. This is a really stimulating position, and I only hope that because I've been having some internet issues tonight, I only hope that I don't have internet issues tomorrow because I got a fuckload of people I got to get back
Yeah,
to.
that
So,
that would be
knock wood
helpful
there.
for sure. And your wife now, I know she got let go. Is she now looking? Is she how's she doing in her search for stuff?
Oh, good news on that front. She got a new job that she's starting on the 7th. So
Wow, that's great.
we everything fell into place. We've kind of been super lucky. We're in like we just when we think like when we think we're fucked, we figure out a way to we kind of catch a break. So we have caught a break, which is great. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty smooth sailing.
All right.
She's been having some time off, which I get that she's kind of bored here and there, but I think in a sense she also needed it because she's been, busting her ass over the last couple of years. So yeah, we're looks like things are good until society completely collapses and the bombs fall. That is. So I'll just enjoy it until then and stock up on bottle caps.
Right? Damn it. All right. So like I said, I got to take the Wonderlic test, and the Wonderlic test, I just for everyone, I did a lookup to find a website that explains what this is and how they're using it on the job. I had only heard of it in sports because they make quarterbacks take this test. And famously,
Wonderlic.
Tom Brady got a very high Wonderlic score, and I think it was like
I'll bet.
Vince Young was the quarterback. He got like the lowest. I think he got like an 8. And people like were then he's like, oh, I didn't take it seriously. Michael Vick also got a low score, and like it says, Wonderlic is a company that provides pre-employment testing to help employers identify top talent and build outstanding teams. Right. So if you're asking what is it, it's a well-known assessment trusted by many employers to evaluate the cognitive ability of potential or current employees. Educational institutions, the military does this also. So The results are widely known to be one of the best predictors of job performance, which I thought was interesting, right? And there's three or four different kinds of Wonderlic tests. You can take a practice one. There's websites that teach you how to beat it, whatever. I didn't take any of that. I just went in and I went for it. So this article would tell you all you needed to know. This probably would have been helpful to find before I took my test, but of course I found it in prepping for it tonight. So this was more to explain to everybody else what this was that I went through, the exercise. All right. I think I went through a 30-question test, not a 50-question exam. And what's on it?
Well, it's not advisable to beat it before the Wonderlic, right?
No. But it's verbal and numerical. It's reasoning and then general knowledge. All right. Is it proctored? Not really. Mine wasn't. It was just timed. All right. And then now they're saying this is not an assessment you should approach unprepared. I did. And it's interesting. I'm guessing that, see the NFL, you see that they named it there. And there's three different kinds that or multiple. I took, I believe, this one. No, I'm sorry. It was the 12-minute 50 cognitive question test, the WPTR. It might even be this basic skills test, but I think it's the second one, the cognitive questions. Or it could be the, okay. No, and then they have the final one, the Wonderlic Select, and I think that's the one that I ended up taking, which is the combination of all these things together and lets them, tells you cognitive ability, gives you math, gives you English, gives you a bunch of different stuff. So this is from a JobTestPrep site. Are the questions hard? They give you some examples of what some of the questions look like. Then here's what the history is. So this really does kind of give you, okay, so here's to learn how to get the highest score, visit our designated page, which includes a free sample test, right? So I took this test, took about a half an hour. I finished all the questions. And so they gave me my assessment, and I screen capped it, and I figured we could go through it a little bit and show what this thing says and what it tells for potential employers about me. So this is saying that my natural tendencies, work drivers, and essential traits have been combined for a comprehensive view. Okay, that I might be more direct when communicating with others. Well, that's for sure. I enjoy selling products or persuading others. Yeah, you can say that. And
I hope so.
Sure. And that I may be comfortable solving complex problems and learning new info with little guidance on the job. All pretty damn accurate, I have to say. Then they get into some personality traits and like what they anticipate based upon my responses, that I am highly candid, being direct and to the point, right? But then also, here are some of the traits that come with being highly candid. Being willing to make the unpopular but necessary decisions. Yeah, willing to be a dick sometimes, I guess. Yeah, So, driven by...
I celebrate it.
Well, yes, sure. Some of us definitely do around here. Driven by persuasive work, energetic and talkative, convincing, all words to describe me. Look at that, right on at the top of page 1, independent. Like, kind of nails it there, right? Critical. Yeah, I guess I am. Direct. Sure. All right. Strong problem solver. So I appreciate all those qualities that it caught. Then it started to look at like, where are my skills? And again, they say if you answer these things at a different time and you take this thing at a different time, you may get a totally different set of answers. Now, what they didn't give me that I wanted was, what's the score? What's the number? And they didn't really give me the number anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have to ask them, what's the number? It's a 1 to 50 number. It's like, did you pass or did you not? I would guess that based upon this, I'm somewhere in the high 20s, low 30s, if not higher. But I don't know. All right, so no surprise that I'm showing high traits of candid and excitable, right? People say that I definitely need some decaf, but that's not happening.
Nor should it.
The moderately
Decaf's for
open-minded,
quitters.
I thought was pretty interesting. All right. But I like that they give you possible growth opportunities. So based upon your answers and based on these tendencies, people that are like this tend to need to be aware of negative emotions and the impact that they can have on your team. Yep. For sure. You know, that identify opportunities to share positive feedback. I think they're saying that I'm a little bit negative. Spend time evaluating if a suggestion idea is practical. Well, that's really funny because Reef says all the time that I'm like Bert in a way, like Bert Kreischer, that like I'm kind of impulsive. Ooh, I like this idea and just start doing it without really planning out where it's going to go and how and completely. But I'm starting something cool and then we figure it out. But the highly excitable things are, for sure, I think that's very accurate. And then spontaneous also, which is why I do what I do. Yes, again, they caught that, but moderately reserved. So I am...
They could have just said chaotic good. Would have been a better, you know?
Well, it just means that I'm flexible and like less structured environments. I can be productive, more relaxed and casual pace, but still delivering. And then what's interesting is this: introverted, private, and modest, because there really is a duality there. And somehow this test figured out and picked that up. Because I am, look, you don't see my face. I'm a little bit reserved. I'm moderately reserved. I've got stuff to say. I enjoy my privacy more than others. And definitely like to speak in smaller settings. So I would say that this did a pretty good job of accurately assessing. Now, this is where I think that if anything, if I were a prospective employee, I might get a little worried, especially in somebody looking at a sales job. Account executive. The top three are great, but the bottom three, and being where they are, not so great. And again, I'm just looking at this honestly and trying to figure out. Now, part of this is there are no failures necessarily, but what it means is that certain roles, certain jobs are better tailored towards the personalities, and with people with the kind of personalities I have are more geared to success in those roles. So, like they're saying here are the type of roles that are driven by persuasive work that succeed. Right? I'd be interested to see you take this test and see where you stood on these. Right?
Yeah, I'll take the lick me test or whatever. The super lick.
It's a Wonderlic. It's the Wonderlic. But interested in clerical work. Well, sort of, but database administrator maybe, but not the rest of it. Creative work. Yeah, sure. And then here's where it gets a little squirrely. Uninterested in hands-on work. Now, this, I feel attacked. I am not the most hands-on physical person, but I can get stuff done if I need to, but not driven by a job that requires me to. But what's really weird, understand how system objects and products function? No, that I disagree with. But manual kind of work, not so much. Sure. As, permanent all day. I definitely am more cut out for office executive, account executive, sales roles than for physical labor, mostly because my body's kind of beat up at this point at my age. So, but yeah, I might not be driven by jobs that manage your own workload. That's not true. See, I don't think that they got this part right, because I have been very successful at doing some of the things that they're talking about. Uninterested in roles that are teaching or caring for others. I don't really agree with that assessment either. But if I were a prospective employer and I were handed a test result that looked like this, Am I going to call that person to be my account executive? I don't know. It's been 3 days. I haven't gotten one.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, if it were me, I would kind of look for some semblance of balance, though, right? Because you don't want someone like too far in like the like extrovert direction. You don't want someone too far in there because it might get to the point where that might actually serve as a detriment.
right.
You know, the best salespeople I've known have been remarkably patient. They've been very, you know, and some modesty goes a long way as well, especially considering it's a role where sometimes, you know, you have to put your own ego to the side and kind of make it completely about someone else. Um, I would look for a balance, to be completely honest. I wouldn't look at like the super hyper aggressive, like, you know, used car dealership guy or, you know, the Ari Gold, so to speak.
See, but that's what
Although
I
I'm
think
sure
this
Ari,
says about me is that kind of looks like it kind of presents me almost as like an Ari Gold. All right. I'm a strong, but this is the final assessment. But what it's saying here in the uninterested in service work, uninterested in analytical work, and in hands-on work, that's like I don't really like the connotation. But look, not everything is perfect. You know, these tests are not 100% accurate. I'm going to have a chance to meet with the person, hopefully to at least have a conversation about this. Be like, yeah, I took a look and it's interesting, but I had some areas where I didn't necessarily agree with it, and it didn't really come off reflecting correctly. But hopefully,
I
I get
mean,
that
to be
opportunity.
fair, if I mean to be fair, if a hiring manager reads this and their takeaway is this guy reminds me of an Ari Gold, that's probably not a bad thing anyway.
Yeah,
Probably gonna be like, we got to get him an assistant that he abuses 24/7.
Lloyd.
But yeah, might not be a bad thing.
Oh my
Lloyd.
god. Oh,
Yeah,
that show was legendary for a little while.
that's
I
cool
mean,
though.
it doesn't hold
I'll,
up
I'll,
very well in
yeah.
2023. I don't know if you've watched like an episode of Entourage. The misogyny's off
Oh,
the
I've seen all
charts.
of it.
Oh, I
All of
watched it,
it.
dude. I used to love it, and now it's just like, oh, it's so cringe. Oh my god, how,
Well,
how?
it's not just cringe, but it's like you just like, I don't know. It just you know what? Family Guy kind of like painted it the best way. It's Sex in the City for men.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but it's pretty much it. And it's like for me, it's like for me, I had to like watching it even when I was younger. I had to remove myself from like the capitalistic sort of dream of like, yeah, I want to aspire to be rich and powerful, and that's like all there is to life, just having beautiful women and awesome cars and mansions and shit. And you know, you kind of have to remove yourself from that and kind of just like completely immerse yourself in the you have to treat it the same way as Lord of the Rings, basically. It's like this is a fantasy show.
Right.
It's
Oh,
it's
totally.
another world. It's make believe. But
Yes. Oh
yeah,
yeah. How
no.
great would it be for this guy who lives in the Hollywood Hills just to have like gorgeous women hang out all day and just go to parties and this thing? And I'm sure that there are people that have that life and that's great for them. But yes, fantasy life, and a lot of people are looking to escape to that stuff. So I guess in my 20s or whenever that thing was running live, and look, that was a huge show, but that's when we were all propagandized and we didn't even realize it. And corporate media was being blasted in our faces, and advertising was a whole lot more subtle, I think. Either that or we were just dumber and to it and not as attuned to all the different tricks and all the different nonsense that they're trying to push inside of it. I think that show actually went one of the furthest in exposing all of that narrative almost unintentionally because it was so over the top
Well,
ridiculous.
one thing that I will say is that one thing I did notice, and I believe Ari Gold made a direct quote at one point in the show where he's like, I'm miserable, that's why I'm rich. All the people who are the most successful and richest and most famous, they're all fucking unhappy in that show. Vince always has problems here and there. Ari Gold's always angry at everything, despite like, having a banging wife and shitloads of money. Like,
Did you just
nobody
binge?
seems actually content.
Did you just
Huh?
binge watch this show recently? Like you seem to be very up on the characters and everything, even though it's an old show. I haven't seen it in ages.
No, I just watched. First off, I'm a huge fan of Jeremy Piven as an actor.
Oh,
I think he's
same.
brilliant.
Same.
If anybody hasn't seen the movie Smoking Aces, go give that shit a watch,
Dude,
Based.
and as well as what's the one with the turkey with the used cars where he's the traveling Don the used car sales, so the guy who puts on events, and Will Ferrell's in it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what's the Goods?
I
Live hard,
completely
sell
forgot.
hard. It's called The Goods. Live hard,
Right,
sell hard.
yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
Goods, yeah.
All right, that's another classic Piven flick. That's totally underrated and flies under the radar. I love that movie.
Yeah, he's a really good actor, but yeah, it's a show that stuck out in my mind just because it was one of those shows that I watched with like my family and my friends, and it's like everybody was like watching it together. So yeah, I remember a fair bit about that show. Also,
But yes.
I remember it having very good color correction.
Office
Everything was graded
abuse.
very well.
Yes, he abused the crap out of Lloyd. Why Lloyd put up with it, I have no idea. But
Lloyd did get a happy ending, but you also look at that show and see all the shit that's obviously problematic, and we all kind of gave it a pass. Like Ari's, first off, he's obviously racist. He's being racist to everybody on the show. And everyone's like, "Oh, that's so funny." And looking back, it's like, wow, it's kind of fucked up. It's not
Yeah.
okay.
Well, again, that's what I
You
said.
can't
Like,
talk about.
watch it in 2023, and you just be like, ooh, yeah. A lot of the times, it's just,
It's like, did he just make an internment joke towards an Asian person? That's not cool at all. What
Yes, he
the
did.
fuck?
Oh yeah. It's like the writer just took out every single aggression they ever had on every fucking on every group, a minority group, and yeah, just unleashed on them through Ari Gold.
Well, not just that, but they let an actor who went to Second City fucking improvise. Right there, you gotta keep a Second City person on a tight leash, sir. You can't just be like go to town because they'll get lost in that character and they'll never stop yes anding.
So I wanna start getting to a couple articles here. All right. So you brought a couple. This one came from Forbes, and I'm gonna give everyone a trick because Forbes puts their stuff behind a paywall. But if you use the website 12ft.io, 12foot.io, you can get past the paywall, and they might block out Andy Jassy's face, which is actually a bonus, not a negative. All right. But this is a Fortune article entitled, and you sent this today, Amazon managers given the green light to fire employees who won't work from the office 3 days a week.
So I just like to make a little note to everybody who was like, back when I first stood out against vaccine mandates back in the day and said that, like, I don't really think this is okay. And everybody jumped down my throat, and I basically gave the explanation of like, well, if we don't stand out against this now, they're gonna start doing it for other shit. Everybody can give me an apology because yeah, we gave the okie doke, and now they're fucking mandating coming into the office or you're fired. Like,
so Fortune magazine, all right, in new guidelines for managers seen by Insider, Amazon granted leaders more freedom to take disciplinary action against staffers who failed to turn up in person at least 3 days a week. You know what? I want to go real quick before we do this. Where's the one? It's this one. 2020. Yeah, this one. The evolution of working from home, because I think this is appropriate for what we want to do right now, and then we can read this article because I think in the context it might work. Let me just restart and let it go.
Safety are our number one priorities. So given all that's happening in the world, we've decided to go fully remote, which means you can expense whatever you need to be productive while working from home. It has become abundantly clear that remote work is working. This is the most productive this company has ever been, so we are happy to announce that we are officially rolling out the work from anywhere policy. The world is changing, we're gonna keep changing with it. We did not mean you could work from the Mediterranean, or you could work from the Caribbean, or you could work from some remote beach anywhere. There are rules, okay? So moving forward, we are transitioning into a hybrid work from home policy. That means depending on your function, you are expected and required to be in the office 1 to 3 days a week. Did you guys really think working from home was gonna last forever? If you did, then I seriously question your judgment. We just renewed the lease on a beautiful office space. It's gonna be great. See you there.
See you there.
AI
Your health
replaces
and
us
safety
all.
are our number one priorities. So give
Oh, I missed that in the beginning. Your health and safety. So,
See, to me, the AI replaces us all is like, that's actually very optimistic, because I would have put in something like, we're all dead because of nuclear hellfire.
right.
Or,
Right. Office is gone in a fiery blaze. Yes. But
we're
now
all drafted.
in that context, we've got Amazon managers who given the green light to fire employees who won't show up in the office 3 days a week. Right? So the updates instructed managers to have a private conversation with any employees that don't meet the minimum in-office requirements. These discussions should be documented in a follow-up email. So they're going to HR them out effectively. If they continue to ignore the in-office rules after these preliminary meetings, they should schedule another meeting with the staffer where they could take disciplinary actions, including letting them go. Oh man. I would like to, if you are an Amazon employee or you know an Amazon employee, I'd like to talk to you. I would like to talk to someone who actually has to live under these rules and let them, and I'll put your thing behind a screen like this, like I do. I'll let it be anonymous, but I want to know, like, why? Why would you do this? Why would you?
Why, right?
Well, yes, but there's other jobs. There's other companies. Oh, man. Like, really? It doesn't pay that much more than any other gig that will give you the flexibility, number one. Number two, you got Amazon on your resume now. So, therefore, you go to any one of a ton of smaller companies that just because you have Amazon on your resume, they'll look to hire you. So, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, just my take, but I think it's probably because capitalists are fucking stupid. Because if they weren't stupid, they wouldn't be capitalists. So.
I don't know. I guess. The conversation.
No, but like, what really drives me insane about this? Sorry, I will try not to go on a rant here. What drives me insane about this whole like back and forth about remote fucking work is that these clowns are so out of touch. They don't realize why everybody's choosing to work from home. In case y'all didn't get the fucking memo, it's because everybody's moving out of the cities because they can't afford rent anymore. So if you want people to come back into the office, pretty easy solution, offer them a boatload more money so they can fucking pay rent in the city. Otherwise, go kick rocks. Seriously? Because that's why everybody's choosing the work from home option. It's economic. There's no other reason other than economy. Suddenly you can save money on commuting.
It's
you
time
can save
too.
Money on any.
It's also the time. The 2 hours a day in commuting back and forth into a city from as far out as you now need to move from a city to be able to afford anything, or take public transportation. At minimum an hour a day to get into a city. That's if you're even lucky enough to find something in a city and not have to not find something locally, and then you have to have the expense of a car and insurance, maintenance, gas, etc. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot today, and
Yeah.
wages are not keeping up with the cost of living, and the administration, they'd rather fund war abroad than deal with this kind of a problem.
Like, seriously, okay, if everybody wants like people back in the offices so bad, you're gonna have to start an office in like an area where rent is fucking reasonable. Sorry. That's your solution there. Go open up an office somewhere that it doesn't cost like $3,000 for a 1-bedroom.
I don't know where that is. I don't know what city that is.
People,
honestly, it's like maybe Nashville or Omaha, Nebraska, or Oklahoma City. That's about it now.
It's Northern Ontario, baby.
I mean, Hoboken. It's more than that. Ask Crab. He's in Jersey. I think Jersey City. We've got people all over the area. Maybe Lucy in the Bronx, if you can find a 1-bedroom, but there's a lot. They're multi-bedroom, multi-purpose stuff, and you might have to room with people. And that's another problem. Like, in addition to it costing a shitload, it's not really easy to find like a place in a city anymore. You're competing with a million other people, and God forbid you're not Captain Moneybags and you don't have a 5 million point credit score. Which I always funny, all those people who complain about China's social credit system, because I'm like, we got one too, and it's all based economically. So maybe don't talk shit. But like you're competing with a million different people, and if they have a better credit score, they're just getting the place and you're not, and that's it. Unless like you've got like A+ RE Gold game and you like charm the pants off like whoever you're dealing with. It's not exactly easy. That's why people tap out of cities, because they're like, well, first off, I'd like to move to a city. I know a lot of people who want to move to the city and they can't even. They literally can't find a place. They're like, okay, anything within my budget range, I'm competing with like an army of people. So, well,
I don't know what they're trying to do here.
Even last night, it was kind of interesting. Reese sent me a job, and he was just kind of screwing around. He's like, hey, take a look at this company. It seems like you could sell the shit out of this stuff. So he sends me the link to an app for business stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I look in, they have available to, actually, they're looking for a small business account executive. Look at that, huh? Interesting. In the United States, looking to build out a sales team, their first hire in the U.S., international company. Okay, that's interesting. I submit. I go to LinkedIn. The job's been posted for more than a month. There's more than 100 applicants. So, like you're talking about, where you're at the bottom of this massive pile, man, and then turns out 95% of the company, where are they based? Tech company. Where do you think they are? International tech company.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was like, bro. Oh, you could have picked any other country in the world, man, right now. But
that's the funniest clapback too. That's the funniest clapback I have for all these companies that are suddenly like anti-remote work. I'm like, so wait, it's across the board, right? Like nobody's working remote now? Oh no, you're still planning on having a bunch of employees from countries that you can exploit labor from because the wages are really cheap, right? You're going to still do that, am I right?
Well, not only that, but now the tech incubator has moved from Silicon Valley to Tel Aviv, if you have not heard. So that's where this company is based out of primarily. And I was like, yeah, that might not work for me. I don't think that they're going to align to where we're at. But so here, this is interesting that there was a return to office mandate met with pushback, right? 28,000 Amazon workers joined an internal Slack channel called Remote Advocacy. thousands of employees signed a petition and states walk out to protest the RTO push, right? But despite the swath of employees opposing it, the company and its leadership have not backed down from the mandate. Wonder why. I think we've talked about why. Number one, office space. Number two, total control. Okay, those are the only two reasons that they can get away with bringing people in for specific meetings and not requiring them to be in the office for no reason other than because they want them to be there. Right. So
what you get is so hilarious.
It's ridiculous. Jassy himself suggested in August that the prospects of employees who refused to comply with the rules were dim. Well, look, that's their rules.
No, they're not. But okay.
Well, no.
It's just like fuck you. I'm gonna go get another. Like you said, I have Amazon on my resume now. They're not.
Yeah, if you want to stay there, I mean, yes,
another job.
But the problem is that people are going to want to get that on their resume. I find that they also want to maintain, their HR department wants to maintain their standing as like a top place to work, which they amazingly still do qualify for quite often, even though they totally destroy, the bodies, backs, and morale of their workers for the warehouse and for their drivers. For the most part, they hate the work that they do and have to do it. The office workers, the white collar workers, for the most part, seem to really enjoy the work that they do. I don't really hear a lot of complaints out of people who work in an office for Amazon other than stuff like this about return to office, which is rich people problems in a way. Yes, it sucks, but it's not like, $17 an hour versus $21 an hour, and you're fighting for scraps of $4 an hour that's still going to be below slave before any wage that you can actually afford to live and be comfortable and have a decent life, where you can go on vacations with your family and do all the things that these executives enjoy the privilege of doing all the time. Then their attitude is, well, you should have schooled and studied harder and completely ignoring all of the disadvantages and the entire way that the system is rigged. Capitalism, as you like to just basically describe it in one word very easily, sir.
Yep.
And then this asshole, holy crap. Now, I remember this asshole. If you remember this asshole from 2020, all right, this is the asshole who is a big DNC mega donor who I believe went onto like CNBC and was like, if you guys don't get serious, we're going to stop funding you guys. And basically he was yelling at the Democrats. And they got in line. They listened. So now this asshole, who is head of the world's biggest commercial landlord, and we all know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Blackstone. Steve Schwartzman said staff want to work from home so they can save money. Yes. Right? But he thinks it means that they don't work as hard. Okay, fuck you. Right? Well, pay people better and they will. Right? In remarks first reported by Bloomberg, this douchebag said that employees had kept working from home because they didn't work as hard regardless of what they tell you, and also due to the savings that they make on their daily commute, lunches, and work attire. You mean...
Well, no, it's not regardless of what they tell you. It's regardless... This should say, regardless of all of the available data and studies we've conducted on this, which state that people who work from home are actually more productive. Regardless of reality, this should fucking say. Not regardless of what someone tells you.
But yes,
okay?
You did give... You gave people an instant raise in yes, not requiring them to spend their own money on a daily commute to get to your fucking office, to spend extra money to have to go to a restaurant or to go to a store to buy lunch rather than making it at home, and to spend extra money on suiting up rather than wearing something casual, work casual from home that they already have. So you have a problem with the fact, first of all, asshole, that you gave these people a raise for 3 years, and now that they want to take it away without further compensating them. Yeah, sorry, as my Canadian friend likes to say.
Yeah.
Continuing vacancies in office buildings in the U.S. were a direct result of the rise in remote working since the COVID pandemic. He's saying the quiet part out loud. And it was likely firms would cut back on space once their current leases come to an end. Oh, that's too bad.
And we can't have that now, can we?
No, God forbid. The commercial properties. Won't someone think of the commercial properties? Right? He said some of those properties were not survivable as economic entities, but that newer office buildings were proving resilient while demand for real estate such as warehouses was on the increase. Interesting. Older office build. Why are these towns green lighting new office buildings to be built when there are vacancies in the existing buildings? I would put this on them. Or I would require that vacant buildings, if they have put in an ordinance, if it's been vacant for X amount of time, you've got to knock it down and sell the property or build something else and make it more viable for town use. There's got to be a way to do that. You've got also David Solomon. Of course, he's not a nice guy, we know, from Goldman Sachs, CEO. Same panel also said that his company's workers had returned to work office in recent months, and he described it as an aberration that needed to be corrected as soon as possible. I think we talked about that. And they're now pre-pandemic operating. Now, the truth is pre-pandemic, I was an out-of-office, fully remote worker. But it seems they even want to get rid of that. It seems that now, that's unacceptable to them. And that's what's driving me crazy, is even when they're saying the work is remote, it's in territory where they want you in the office hybrid. It was revealed earlier this month. Nearly 2/3 of bosses believe workers will return to the office 5 days a week in the next 3 years, dude. Okay, and this is Guardian. All right, I'm not a big fan of Guardian. They can lean left sometimes. Sometimes they're just mouthpieces for the bosses. Here, despite widespread adoption of hybrid working by most office-based employers since the pandemic, KPMG survey found, now that's of CEO Outlook, 64% of leaders globally and 63% in the UK predicted a full return to in-office by 2026. So really this, hey guys, by 2023, did you really expect that it was going to last forever? If you did, then I seriously question you. That's really where we are right now. And here's a nice little middle finger to the dickhead that runs Amazon, Jeff Bezos. But it's unfortunate to the people who work there. I sent this over. He decided to try to take on trucking and turn trucking into like an Amazon type, an Uberification of commercial freight and trucking. So you have all these trucks and you have small companies that don't necessarily need to move a truckload. So this is small partial truckloads. I think he was trying to compete with Yellow. And you saw that Yellow just went out recently. So now they've gotten rid of everyone. And they had an app. They had won hundreds of millions of dollars in backing from tech players like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. The CEO would stay on to manage this wind-up transition. So they basically lit a couple of $100 million on fire to try to make a just-in-time trucking app. With 500 people. And everybody lost their jobs. So there's that. All right. Convoy had told customers that all shipments have been canceled from our marketplace. I read somewhere that they had like a couple of contract gigs with some pharmacy companies or something. They aim to bypass those traditional brokers, which work deals by phone, with machine learning and automation, and an app that would allow carriers with cargoes to find truckers with empty trailers. I mean, you think about it, in theory, it's a good idea. But think about the average trucker trying to list that he has availability. But according to this, they had, by late last year, 400,000 trucks and a roster of shippers, including Home Depot, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and Anheuser-Busch. So they basically got outsourced access to all of these trucks that were sitting idle. So when they weren't in use, they could be outsourced by Convoy, right? By someone that needed a delivery from XYZ, from here to there. And they had people plugged in all over the country. Look at this. $928 million in equity and venture debt. Lit on fire, $1 billion. Meh. Like, there are no repercussions for this. Wow, look at this. By April 22, the head count was up to 1,300.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And then they were back down to 500 already. Because they kept hemorrhaging out business. And then they were just like, you know what? Shut her down. Now, what happens to all the assets? What happens to all this stuff? I mean, $928 million in equity. Jesus Christ. And venture debt. Well, venture debt is not necessarily cash, but that's a lot of cheese. That's so sorry for the people that worked at Convoy, and it sucks.
Sorry.
I don't know what the answer is to shipping. It's not 15-minute cities. It's not coal-fired trains. And a lot of the heavy equipment that moves a lot of the stuff that goes around the country, I mean, needs to be moved by a truck. I mean, our country works and runs by trucks, which is why literally 2 summers ago, I'll have to dig up the clip somewhere, in one of my very first live stream conversations with anyone that wasn't like an interview to talk about an event that I was promoting or involved with, I talked about a national trucker strike, and that if you shut down the trucks in very short time, if every trucker in this country decided to shut her down, like what happened in Canada, wow, you would see shit change. You would see shit change real fast. And man,
hey, listen, people can talk shit about the trucker convoy all day long, but I'll just say this. Pinpoint, go back, look at the timeline. Look at when the trucker convoy happened, and look at when the mandates across Canada just fucking vanished. Pretty quick. It happened pretty quickly. I think it was like a month, and it just all went away.
Yeah, how about that? Well, that plus the fact that they realized how safe and effective, and my heart swells with pride when I think about the effectiveness of this medication. But there's a little bit more to this article that they saw what was happening, that Flexport announced that they were laying off 20% of their workforce, including 165 employees. You know, shipping right now, cargo shipping is really, really rough, having a rough time. You had an influx of cash and companies into the market, and now you've got a bunch of those aren't panning out. Right? Many weren't yet profitable, still dependent on outside financing, but investors began to pull back from a cooling tech sector, now becoming doubly wary of freight ventures. Yeah. So freight is being hit especially hard when it comes to tech and SaaS, because it never proved out as a profitable model to begin with, and they were taking a flyer. And now with the economy in the shitter, They're not taking flyers like they used to. They're not funding stuff like they were. There was money for every Series A that you had a decent pitch to throw out at these investors, apparently. I don't. That's not, look, man, it makes me wish I had thrown INN out there because we probably could have gotten $50 million to fund INN on a flyer from one of these morons that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Ah, yeah, an independent news network that challenges the, yeah. We're back. Okay. I thought we were touch and go for a second.
That was a hiccup.
Okay.
That was a hiccup for sure.
But in the height of the tech boom, startups just could secure millions in funding in mere days. With increased market volatility, we've seen a broader shift in the venture capital landscape as investors become more cautious. No startup, not even the rocket ships of logistics technology, will be immune to these trends. Yep. So, industry insiders say that without additional funding and lacking the cash reserves, Convoy's options were limited. Yeah. So despite your excellent work and the painful and sweeping cost cuts you've had to endure, it was still not enough to get. Yeah, I guarantee you this guy got some kind of a crazy golden parachute, or his pay while he was running this thing into the ground was substantially high as a former executive for Amazon. He wasn't running on no pay.
Safe bet. Real safe bet.
You know? So that's Convoy. That's Amazon. Oh, I wanted to show one other thing that I found related to Amazon. This was not a onion story. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that there again, so that all of y'all can read that closely. And I'm gonna read that out loud. Amazon let bottles of its driver's urine be sold as an energy drink called Release, a new documentary alleges. What?
That's okay. I'm sorry, y'all. That's like we've crossed firmly into Cyberpunk 2020, 2077 territories now.
What? Again, this showed up on my phone. I had to screen cap the alert. That's that's either my face or my kid's face blurred out behind that there. But I could not believe that one. Wait, what?
We're hitting capitalism levels that shouldn't even be possible.
All right.
Holy fuck.
Pearl Jam, now they're an Amazon company, so there is a song called Release. Oh, hey. Yes, release me. I can totally see that being the theme song of like the commercial for Release. Oh God, it's so gross. Sorry. All right, so
just why any of this?
Why?
Why is this happening?
I don't know. I don't know. I wish I did. All right, so we got to the funny part of the show. And we find funny stuff throughout the week on mostly Instagram, but also elsewhere. And I like this one, which was, what do you choose?
This is me every week.
Right? It's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. What do you think about that, Dave? Yep. Sorry, can you repeat? I like the sorry, can you repeat? That usually works. I'm sorry, my headphone fell out at the moment. What was that? And then there's this one. 8 out of 10. Yep. Yeah, sorry, I was multitasking. Can you repeat? Always works for Zoom calls. Right? There's all kinds of advice and funny stuff in here. My movie's here. Could you rephrase that? Sorry, I was catching a Pikachu. What's up? I'd like to phone a friend. There you go. That's the one. I'd like to phone a friend. So
honestly,
that's...
I always just own it. I'm like, sorry, I squirreled. What?
Right? That was squirrel. And then we had, you sent this over. Boss saying if I quit now, I'll miss out on the 50-cent raise, and me saying that the new job is paying almost double and has cheaper and better Health insurance, yeah.
Which is, I can't believe I found that meme because that fucking happened. All of it,
Like,
all of that
literally.
meme is my life.
Like all the things, right? So then we have, now you said this to me and originally I was like, wait, it's 2,500. I was confused and sleepy when I first saw this. And then I'm like, wait, yeah, this is exactly right.
You thought it was monthly?
I don't know.
2,500?
I don't know what the hell I missed the first number and I thought that, I don't know what I thought, but I'm getting a little fed up with people who make 2,500 an hour, trying to convince people who make 25 an hour that the people who make 15 an hour make too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's essentially, the team leads, the middle manager people,
and the talking heads on the news. 2,500 an hour are the CEOs and executives. Even the team leads don't make 2,500 an hour. They make 2,500 a week. But 2,500 an hour are the top 1%ers that are telling people to make 25 an hour. Yeah, and I was like, well, wait, like, yeah, those are the talking heads. They're just gaslighting everyone. Yeah. So solidarity season, everyone. I wish everybody a pleasant general strike. All right, and then you sent this one over. I love this one. When people are quitting left and right, and your boss says, "Hope you're not planning to quit too." Let's refresh.
Bro,
classic.
My last company even made a comment about that, and it was right after I had accepted the new role.
Oh, hope you're not quitting too.
It was just like, fuck.
Love it. Oh, and then I'm gonna trigger Jesse Jet right now.
Selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours.
The boss says I can't slam lunch beers
so I can sit out here and
say
waste my life away.
To everyone in the office.
I've been selling my soul, working all day,
come on,
overtime hours for bullshit pay. So I can sit out here and waste my life away.
Oh, come on, dude. All right, enough, Oliver, Chris, whatever your fucking name is. All right, and then I figured we'd wrap on this bad boy, and I love Gary Busey. How do you not love Busey in The Office? Come on.
Let's talk about your Cable Ace Award.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does, why is it doing what it's doing. Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
Let's talk about your cable.
Fucking Busey, man. Derailed every time. Oh, I love that man.
Oh, it's so good. I love Gary Busey too.
Dude.
Oh my god, he's the greatest.
Buttered sausage.
My favorite. Dude, my favorite quote was he went to Sweden. He went to Sweden and he tried blood pudding. Which is a standard. It's a standard in Scandinavia,
right?
You know, we cook with a lot of blood actually. Anyway, and he said, and by the way, to all you Swedes watching this, you're vampires with day passes. And I fucking lost my shit for 10 minutes just because I was like, vampires with day passes? What?
Dude, that guy, man. That guy. I'll just say that
I want
guy.
to be Gary Busey when I grow up.
Yeah, I want to hang with Gary Busey, but he's so weird. Like you just never know what's gonna happen with that dude.
He's like a pit bull. You never know if he's gonna be like really cool and fun or if he's gonna bite your throat out.
All right, so for the rest of this week, earlier tonight, because this is Thursday night at 10:30. Earlier today was Angel in the Afternoon because he's at his girlfriend's tomorrow, I guess, and he's hanging out with his lady for the weekend. It's a lady. And also tomorrow afternoon there will be no Tara show. I just found that out today. But there will be a boat smashing in other boats, and we're only going to push that out to Rockfin and Rumble, I think, tomorrow night, because we got some content strikes. Right now, we're live on Indie Left's channel. We're live on INN for all the other platforms, but on YouTube, we got a content strike because they think that we are the baddies, and we promote violent criminal organizations, which we do not. We do not endorse violent criminal organizations. And then Saturday, we're going to take the day off and we're going to watch some fights. And Sunday, we're very excited. We're very excited. Sunday is it's How Do We Miss That? And we're going, it's Halloween, but I'm not dressing up. I think Reef may get into costume. We'll see. Oh, happy.
I think I forgot to mention it's my birthday.
Oh, yay! Happy birthday, Himbo! Yay! Okay, it's a lady. All right, we're going to have to edit this out.
I'm 38. Fuck.
Nice. Happy birthday, dude. All right, you're cut off from...
We can do a wrap-up in a minute.
She's cut off from the neck up, by the way. So, like, you're still a non. Yay! Happy birthday, dude. All right.
It's all good. Fuck, I'm 38 now. I am ancient, dude. What happened?
Yeah.
God damn it.
So Sunday night. He's being fed. He's being fed.
Research is my favorite.
Nice. That's a lady. She's the best. Tell her I said she's the best. Sunday night, Indie Media Awards.
Sunday night.
We are going to unveil the 2023 list of the honorees. I've been hard at work making trailers and doing a bunch of other stuff to set up for that. And we have our list. We're ready to go. And we're going to share that with the world and get a whole new class of independent journalists, a whole bunch of new independent outlets and live streamers. We're going to add a new category this year. I announced that on my Substack the other day. So if you go to Indie Media Today or indiemediaawards.substack.com, I didn't share it there. I should, but I should go to Indie Media Today. .substack.com, but not to publish the posts. Come on, don't go there. No, go here. All right, and you'll be able to see this right there. Indie Media Awards arrives on Substack. So we teased it last week that there's now a Substack site for it. This is also the trailer, or this is the... Very excited about that.
Who are these people?
Then there was a segment that Reef and I had done from Sunday night about it, so that I included also. But yeah, you can go to the indiemediatoday.substack.com, check out all the links to where you can find the stream live on Sunday night, as well as the link to sign up for the Substack. So when all of the honorees are updated and we publish out all 31 of the new ones for 2023, you'll get them delivered to your inbox. I don't know if I want to do that. Like, I don't want to flood people's inboxes with 31 emails in a day. It'll annoy the crap. And I might just publish them without emailing to everyone and send one email out to be like, all right, the list is out. Everything's out. Go get it. I think that's probably how we're going to do it. So, yeah, that was great. So for tonight, and as always, I like this, Reeve had a good idea that I've been for years saying to keep questioning everyone's motivations, and we should, but the better message for me is support independent media.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from now on, whenever I sign off somewhere, you're going to hear me going forward just to be like, all right, this is Indy saying support independent media. That's it. That's what we need more than ever.
And this is Snow Himbo saying, support your fellow proletariat.
And happy birthday,
That's also
Himbo!
what we need more than ever. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to go get my walker now.
Yes. Your AARP card. Oh, no, you're not American, so you can't even... Do you have like something like that?
Yeah, it's called euthanasia up here in Canada.
Oh, God. That's made. That's made. Come on.
Made in Canada.
Oh, fuck.
There we go. I love it up here. It's great.
And on that note, happy birthday, bro. All right. Night, everybody.
Indie News Network, collaborative family of independent content creators. Co-hosted normally by me, Indy. I'm founder and editor of Indie Left News and Indie Media Today. I got Reef Breland sitting next to me.
At Kennedy News.
Is Andrew Rivera on The Handsome Cynic?
It's Politics and Survival.
My name is Jesse Jett.
It's American Tradition.
What's up, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden.
I mostly make art for INN.
Big Man Crab Joe. Keep up those great videos.
Hey guys, it's Yeti coming at you.
Hello, my name is Lucy from Blue Moon Red Wine.
This is Chris Legion.
Keep fighting that good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Who are these people?